I'm a certified calibrator and TV reviewer, and there are 5 TV settings I would change immediately after unboxing any new Samsung OLED TV to obtain better picture quality. Let me show you. So this is a new Samsung S95D QD-OLED TV, and I've factory reset it, erasing all my calibration data, but it is a sacrifice I'm willing to make to show you how it's done out of the box. So the first thing that I normally like to do is to switch to Filmmaker Mode. To do that, we click the gear button on the remote control, go into the picture menu by clicking all settings, and then we change the picture mode to Filmmaker Mode. And the reason why I like Filmmaker Mode so much is because it's the most accurate to the creative intent. It will target the 65 white point, it won't have any sharpening, it won't have any motion smoothing, it won't have any unnecessary contrast boosting. But the thing that you need to do in the picture menu on Samsung TV is I find that after testing lots of Samsung TVs, you need to reduce the contrast from the default value of 45 to around 38, because the default setting of 45 will clip some whiter than white detail and also introduce some color shifting at the brighter end of the picture. So 38 is the best catch-all setting that I've found across many Samsung TVs, including this Samsung OLED here. And after doing that, we will need to go back and disable the energy saving setting. And the way to do it is to go into the General and Privacy submenu, click on it, go down into Power and Energy Saving, and disable the brightness optimization. This will prevent the light sensor on the TV from automatically adjusting the light output of the TV depending on the ambient light that is detected in your environment, and this will prevent some backlight fluctuations on mini LED TVs or also unstable light output from OLED TVs. What we want is a constant, nice light output that is not sensitive to ambient light, and this will give you the most stable, the most accurate picture. Now, one thing to note is that this brightness optimization setting needs to be set per picture mode. So for example, if you set up, for example, Filmmaker Mode for nighttime viewing, and then you set up movie mode for daytime viewing, then you will still need to go into the General and Privacy to disable the brightness optimization, because this will still be engaged depending on the picture mode. So let's say if you use many other picture modes, let's for example go to Standard, and then you will still need to go into the General and Privacy submenu and disable it per picture mode. So after doing that, let's go back to my favorite Filmmaker Mode, and to make sure, we go into General and Privacy, go into Power and Energy Saving. You can see that it is off, it is saved. But for every picture mode, you need to at least do it once to disable the eco saving or the light sensor setting. After doing that, another thing that I normally like to do is to go into the Panel Care submenu and disable the pixel shifting and also the Adjust Logo Brightness settings. Now, these are meant to protect any modern OLED TV from permanent screen burn or temporary image retention, but I find that they can affect the picture a bit too much. The pixel shifting, if you turn it on and off, you can see the picture shifting very slightly, and it may cause a part of the bezel to look slightly wider than the other. And in my experience, I don't think it helps that much with reducing the instances of image retention. So I would just turn it off to get a nice even picture. And with Adjust Logo Brightness, Samsung's auto dimming algorithm in terms of logo detection is fairly aggressive. So for example, if you have a logo on screen here, it will not only dim the logo, but it will also dim down the entire screen. So to reduce the aggressiveness, I would just turn this off, because at the back end, there is still also some background auto dimming that is happening, that unless you want to disable it completely, you have to go into the service menu, but this may avoid your warranty. But from the picture menu, I would just disable the Adjust Logo Brightness, because Samsung's algorithm is fairly aggressive. And last but not least, I would go into the start screen options and disable the start with Smart Hub Home, because normally when you power down the TV and you switch it up again, let me just show you. So if I switch off the TV and I switch it back up again, then it will just go straight to the home screen, which depending on your model year, it may be quite sluggish. You may have to navigate through various things before going into the HDMI input or any of your last use input. But if we go into the settings menu and go into general and privacy, go down to start screen options and turn this off, what it means is that it will always go to your last input when you switch on the TV. So for example, if I switch this off now and I switch it on again, it will just go straight back to the last used input without going through the home screen, which could be very sluggish depending on your Samsung TV model. So I would disable the Start with Smart Hub option setting and just go straight to the last input. I personally really don't like waiting around. I just want to cut to the chase. There's a reason why they call me 2-minute Theo. Now, after setting up this TV, you may want to actually optimize it for playing HDR games with next-gen consoles such as the Sony PS5, the Xbox Series X, or the Nintendo Switch 2, in which case I have a step-by-step instruction video you can watch by clicking here.